This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. Happy New Year. I'm George Gerbo. Shoplifting and organized retail theft, often unchecked by local governments, has major retailers turning to Washington for help. Tom Howe reports Congress is considering ways to combat organized theft, which is eating into retailers' bottom lines and causing headaches for shoppers. Retailers are lobbying Congress to pass the Combating Organized Retail Crime Act, which would establish the Organized Retail Crime Coordination Center through the Department of Homeland Security. The center would coordinate federal efforts, establish relationship with state and local law enforcement, and set up a secure system to share data and spot trends. Elected leaders are under pressure to take action. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom responded to thefts in 2021 by calling for stiffer prosecutions and more state funding to target the problem. And Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill last year that created second-degree and third-degree felonies for people who commit repeated thefts within a short period. Artificial intelligence makers are beginning to grumble about President Biden's sweeping AI executive order and his administration's efforts to regulate the technology. Brian Lovelace reports the order, issued in late October, aims to curtail perceived dangers from the technology by pressuring AI developers to share testing results with the government and comply with various rules. Small AI startups say the president's heavy regulatory hand will crush their businesses before they even get off the ground, according to In-Q-Tel, the taxpayer-funded investment group financing technology companies on behalf of America's intelligence agencies. The District of Columbia is preparing for the country's biggest experiment yet with non-citizen voting. Stephen Dinan reports as of mid-December, the city said 3 people registered, all showing up in person. Officials hope for more interest when online registration opens to non-citizens this year. Jurisdictions across the country are testing the waters for allowing non-citizens, including illegal immigrants, to cast ballots in local elections. Most, however, are finding scant interest. Maryland has the most jurisdictions practicing non-citizen voting, though all are small cities or villages. Mental health experts are divided over the concept of mental toughness, bearing down on one's performance in the face of adversity as an ideal for raising children. In recent years, Sean Salai reports experts such as sports psychologists and military drill instructors have quietly stopped using the term, saying it reinforces a harsh self-image that pushes people to ignore pain and causes emotional breakdowns. Others say mental toughness has been unfairly blamed for surging rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide risks among young people. Although there is no single definition of mental toughness, some experts point to positive characteristics traditionally valued by competitive athletes. Those include analytical thinking, emotional resilience, and the ability to persevere through difficult situations without resorting to coping mechanisms. And finally, war-weary soldiers on Ukraine's eastern front lines are bracing for the coming year with casualties mounting and Western support in question. After meager returns on its much-touted summer counteroffensive, the Ukrainian army has increasingly been on the back foot. Despite staggering personnel and equipment losses, the Russian army has pressed on and claimed limited territorial gains over the past couple of days. Russia finished 2023 with multiple barrages of drone and missile attacks, which hit civilian and infrastructure targets in Ukraine. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcast. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. The Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.